One of the most important lessons I have learned over the course of my 62 years is that life is largely what you make of it. Sure, unexpected and unpleasant things do happen, but the bad does not have to define you. It is how you stand up to the challenges that life throws in your path which determine your success and happiness. No, life is not fair. Some people get harder challenges than others, and I often marvel at how some are able to overcome the greatest of odds with a smile and loving outlook toward life. While I am not always successful, I strive to be like those amazing individuals. I have the same approach towards planning a motorcycle trip. Sure, I can just point my fender in a general direction and twist the throttle, leaving fate to the gods, but I would rather play a more active role in how my adventure unfolds. I know there are plenty of you that disagree with me and who have been traveling with very little planning or forethought for many years. It is not you to whom this video is directed. The individual that I hope to reach is the one who wants to hit the road and live their travel dreams, but just does not know how to go about making it happen. This is more common than you think. I am contacted on a regular basis by fellow riders asking about the route creation and planning process. To get those individuals started, I came up with 7 questions that I always ask myself before starting to plan my adventures. These queries work off each other to help create a big picture of your trip. Question 1. Where do you want to go? This question, of course, seems self-evident. You must first determine your destination, or at least the general direction of travel. I know it is the journey that is important and not the destination, and while that sounds good when discussing philosophy, practically speaking, a good trip starts by setting a goal. That goal can be seeing a national park, visiting family, or attending a great rally. The choices are many, and of course, they are up to you. The next thing we need to ask is, how long do we have to complete this trip? If you are retired and time is not an issue, then the question might not apply. But for most working folks, time is limited and must be factored into your trip planning. Your chosen destination must also be achievable within your available window of opportunity. Wanting to travel cross-country in 2 weeks is doable, but you will be riding a lot of miles each day and with little time to stop along the way. Make sure the answers to questions 1 and 2 are compatible. The answer to this question will dramatically affect the character of your trip. Traveling solo is vastly different than traveling with friends or even with your spouse. Each option has its pluses and minuses. It just depends on what you are looking for in your adventure. Just make sure that everyone involved with the trip has the same things in mind. That is, as far as where you're going, what you want to see, and how far you want to travel, etc. Question 4. What kind of lodging do you want to use? As with question number 3, the answer to this one will change the character of your trip and can dramatically affect your budget. Everyone has their preferred lodging options. There is no right or wrong way to do this. Just make sure that when traveling with friends, you all agree on the lodging choices. I suggest when traveling in a group that you make your reservations ahead of time to avoid disagreements on the road. Question 5. How far do you want to travel each day? This question once again works with numbers 1 and 2. If you want to travel 200 miles per day, but only have 2 weeks to cover 5,000 miles, well, that is not going to work out very well. Make sure your daily mileage goals are compatible with your overall objective. So question number 6. What kind of roads do you want to ride? This again works with questions 1, 2, and 5. If you want to stay off the interstates, sticking to the back roads, then your daily mileage will need to be adjusted accordingly. Doing 400 to 500 miles each day is not a big deal if you are traveling at 70 miles per hour, but when you are averaging 45 or 50, then that makes for an exceptionally long day. If you have 5,000 miles to cover in 2 weeks, as we just discussed, then maybe you need to plan some longer days on the highway mixed with shorter days when you get to those more scenic areas. There are always ways to make it work if you are open to mixing things up a bit. Question 7. How much time do you want to take off the bike? This last question, I think, is particularly important. We motorcyclists love to ride and often forget to schedule time off the bike so we can stay fresh and relax. Time off the bike can turn your ride into a vacation and allow you to stop and enjoy some non-riding experiences, like going to a museum or some other kind of natural wonder. I find this especially true when traveling with my wife. Rather than a constant march from one place to the next, we take every 5th or 6th day off to relax and enjoy each other's company. On those down days, you can also schedule any routine maintenance that is required. Once you have answered all of these questions, you should at least have a basic idea of what your trip might look like. From there, you would start doing research on the areas that you are traveling through and the roads that you might want to navigate. To learn more, please consider taking my online course, Creating Epic Road Trips, in which we discuss the research process as well as how to create simple and more complex routes using the same tools I did when planning my Alaska and 60-day adventures. The entire course includes 13 modules and over 3 hours worth of material. The modules include the 7 questions to ask yourself before route planning, doing your research. We talk about tools and terminology, creating a simple route, creating a more complex route, how to save your GPX files, and also splitting a route up into 2 or more routes. We also talk about working with GPX tracks, creating a multi-day trip, joining multiple routes together, how to create an itinerary, how to create a budget, and finally, a bonus module on how to find great roads. You can learn more at www.livingofftheslab.com, where you can also sign up for our email list and receive a free digital download entitled 5 Tips for Creating Epic Road Trips. You will also get notified when new videos have been published, as well as any future trip plans. And before I go, I want to let you know that I'm working on a second course which will cover shooting and editing videos for motorcyclists. This is another topic I have been asked about many times. All right, everyone. Thanks a lot. Continue to ride safe out there.